Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. If anyone is tuning in, good evening. How are we all? Hopefully, everyone is good. And why wouldn't you be? Liverpool have just beaten Bayer Leverkusen by 4 goals to 0 to get to the top of the Champions League table. No one at the present moment in time can stop Liverpool at the present moment in time. We do have another guest. He's going to be on that side soon. Where are we? That side. He will be at that side soon, but running late as per usual. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but hello, how are we anyway? But yeah, Liverpool win by 4 goals to 0. Unexpected. I certainly think it was. In many ways, I think Liverpool defo surprised a lot of people with that performance, certainly the second half. But look, at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, and one hell of a performance it was indeed. I'm gonna have to plug my earphones in because I completely forgot about them. But Jack, let me know when you're ready. I'll let you in because I won't be able to hear you for the first 2 minutes anyway. But how are we? Hopefully you're well.
Not too bad, lads. How are we, Reds? A massive win in the Champions League, mate. You were just saying there, but not that we're surprised because we've been playing really well this season, Con and Chats and Reds. But in terms of the manner, Bayer Leverkusen's first defeat in 69 games or something ridiculous. Obviously, their only loss in the last couple of years, well, the last year anyway, was obviously Atalanta as well in competitive games, but absolutely staggering, mate, and I'm absolutely made up and puts Liverpool in such a strong, promising position to qualify.
Yeah,
I
no,
think, your camera's gone off there, lad.
earphones. Absolute joys of being live at the same time. There we go. Now I
You're
can
back.
adjust
There we
my
go.
camera. There we bloody go. So yeah, no, look, and I think as you said it, I think the only defeat they have had, I think over the last year and a half, has been that Europa League
Europa
loss. And
League,
I
yeah.
think they lost to Leipzig, I think, as well, at their own ground as well. But look, I think we can individually talk about certain players. I think one in particular, obviously being Luis Diaz. Obviously, second half completely changed my thoughts on him. First half, wanted him off. I'm not going to lie. The thought that the system wasn't really working with him in the false nine or the nine position. But in that second half, of course, things completely changed. And under Arne Slot, Liverpool seemed to turn up in the second half quite easily, don't they, Jack?
Yeah, it's. I think the quickly touching on that first half, mate, I can get your frustration. But I think as Liverpool fans, and over not just this season, but the next couple of years, key word with Liverpool, especially under Arne Slot, is got to be patience. The style in which we're so accustomed to over the previous years of Jurgen Klopp football, gun ho, first 15, 20 minutes out of the blocks early. But I think there's a calmness about the whole team and the way in which the manager wants to win football games. That credit has to go to Leverkusen for moments, really. Everyone might pinpoint and go, oh, Liverpool weren't on it. We weren't on in the first half, but it's not, football's not as simple as that half of the time. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen come with a game plan, tried to stifle the midfield. They certainly done that. Got a lot more preoccupied midfielders in and around the central pockets of space. Frustrated Liverpool in the opening 45 minutes, really. And obviously, we come out in the second half and played really well, I felt. But yeah, it was one of them, a game where, especially the crowd as well, played a massive part again tonight. It's another typical European night, but I think, as we always do, always the case at Anfield and certain special European nights, is we have a 10-15 minute spell where we just blitz teams and we win games of football. We make it look easy at some stages.
Yeah, 100%. And just taking a look at the statistics for the first half, again, Bayer Leverkusen have more possession. Liverpool and XG having 0.64 compared to Leverkusen, who, in fairness, didn't really create any problems. I think apart from once or twice when I think Florian Wirtz got in behind our midfield, which I thought that was a really good exploit from Bayer Leverkusen, I think, throughout the game, where, again, that overload, I think Arne Slot has spoken about it, hasn't he, after the game, saying that, again, they didn't really expect that or anticipate that, which I think, again, of course, that's something where I think you look at Xabi Alonso and where his managerial style, you can see it is very full attacking, fluent football. But I think that obviously that second half in particular, I think, again, the overloads from Liverpool's fullbacks, I think, just in general, the midfield playing a lot better. We'll criticize him, or I will certainly criticize him when he's had an absolute terrible game. But I thought Curtis Jones absolutely stole the show in that second half. Certainly with that assist as well. I know Jack's going to be absolutely loving that. But no, that assist was simply world class, and what a goal it was.
Yeah, in terms of quickly on that, what you alluded to there, mate, the intensity from the second half was absolutely straight away. We've seen that so many times. I know it's a joke between the Liverpool fan base this season. We do have better statistically. It's one of them. I think Arne Slot was asked about a couple of weeks ago, and he joked about it. He said he wish we teams would start a bit quicker, but if it's he's only been here 4 months, so he said they'll get used to it eventually. And but yeah, out the blocks quickly, the intensity with the passing, it was a lot more crisp. You alluded to obviously Curtis Jones there. I think obviously we see in the second half before he come off for a substitution, he was getting into the lines similar to the games in the recent weeks where he's just been breaking into the box, being a late man into the penalty area and just creating absolute utter carnage. Because obviously the Bayer Leverkusen midfielders, especially them as a team, we were so intense, but I don't think they could match our intensity there, Con. I think it's one thing, and that's something that was very accustomed to. I think me and you've seen Bayer Leverkusen a couple of times, bring people out there, especially last season. You had a little eye on Leverkusen and what they were doing, but they couldn't get absolutely near us for like a 20, 30-minute spell in that second half, and that's where obviously we just blitzed them, really. We are a team in moments, but when we play well, we absolutely annihilate them, really, mate. Yeah, we do.
You look in the weekend against Brighton, the 2 quick goals. I think Jamie Carragher's analysis of Liverpool, I think on Monday Night Football, I think was correct. I think over the last year and a half, certainly towards the back end of Jurgen Klopp as well, Liverpool would struggle during the first half of games and then blitz teams away, going into the second half. Same, we've seen, of course, multiple times so far this season under Arne Slot, where, example, Brighton on the weekend, and even tonight, 2 quick goals in very quick succession. That counter attack for the second goal. Wow, what an unbelievable bit of football that was from Liverpool. And I think that is a full mixture of the style of what we've had under Jurgen Klopp for so long, and of course what we're now having under Arne Slot in terms of, again, you can see each pass clearly, and it was just rapid fire, and it was wonderful to see as well. Anyway, but guys, get your thoughts anyway. I think there's 8 people in anyway, so again,
get those likes up, Reds. Come on, smash a like.
Anyway, but big up Tom as well. Hope you're doing well. Big up Damo as well. So not bad for our third choice for a manager, according to the bitter, twisted Gary Neville. Anyway, yeah, of course. Anyway, we definitely didn't want Alonso. No, not at all. But congratulations to Liverpool fans from Real Madrid fan as well. Big up Asan, I think it is, or Asan. Again, apologies for butchering any names as well. But yeah, City collapsed. Yeah, they lost 4-1, I think it was in the end.
I tell you what, this Champions League fallback could get really tasty, especially if we're playing your lads in a couple of weeks. If we beat yous, then obviously Real Madrid's backs against the wall will be interesting, because you'll have historically, no respect to your teams, but the teams that are in the top 8, apart from the odds with the likes of us and maybe 1 or 2 other teams there, where you'd expect them to get top 8. But the other teams are a bit of a lesser team, no respect to them. But then you're going to have an absolute madness in terms of the like 10, 12 teams down there scrapping it in the table. It's going to be crazy. Match week 6, 7, and 8 are going to be absolute carnage, mate.
Looking at the Champions League table now for you guys, of course, I can't get it up on screen, but for you guys, again, Real Madrid now 17th in the table. Again, they're behind Barca, they're behind Benfica, who both of course, I think play each other tomorrow. Obviously, Milan beating them quite comfortably in the end. But you look at it, even if Bayern Munich win tomorrow, again, that then drops them further down, but due to goal difference as well. And I think we said this, I think, since the start of the Champions League format. Goal difference is going to be a huge key for who gets eliminated at the end. And again,
I was made up. We got a couple of goals tonight, mate. That's certainly.
Well, looking at the even us, you look at us now, 12 points, maximum points. Again, that is we're 6 points now away from Madrid. And that's huge considering the fact that Madrid are, well, probably apart from City, the favourites for the Champions League.
Yeah, and we've done countless shows over last season, mate. I know you have when we've been off camera and when others are speaking to your family members or your mates, and we're like, "Oh, might we rotate?" I'm like, "Nah." I said to Connor the last couple of weeks, I said, "No, play our best team because I think the quicker we can qualify, then our priorities don't quickly shift because obviously you want a bit of momentum, but we can prioritize a bit more focus on the Premier League then." Because say we qualify and we're sat on top of the table with 16, 18, 20 points. And then the closest team behind us, ideally, will be like second and third. And they're 5, 6, possibly even 7 points behind Liverpool. It just makes our life that much easier. I think obviously going into Real Madrid, I think it's not just obviously it will be a statement to beat this Real Madrid side, considering obviously the victory in which they had in the last Champions League game in the knockouts. Was it year before last? Obviously we were in that second leg. We remember what happened, mate. But I think it could be it could possibly be a last chance saloon for Ancelotti. But this Real Madrid side, I'm never done. I think no one's ever going to write this Real Madrid side off.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't. Even if they qualify 12 or something, they'll still somehow go and win the Champions League somehow because right Madrid offer you pedal. But certainly from our perspective, I think it's really made up we've won tonight. But it's not just the way in which we've won tonight; it's the manner we've taken apart one of the best footballing sides in European football of the last 12 months.
Well, I don't know about you, Mac, but for me, this is a huge statement for Liverpool. In terms of every single rival supporter has said, Liverpool needs to be tested. They've not played anyone. Liverpool have not come up against the best in Europe. It's so disrespectful
to the other teams.
Yeah, they've not come up against the best in Europe. We have played a team who have only lost 2 games in the space of a season and a half, or a season and a bit. Like, again, we're talking about one of the most up-and-coming managers who, again, all the teams wanted in the summer, Liverpool included in that. Again, Manchester City looking at him, Real Madrid looking at him. Again, they had the players there again tonight. I think, one player that, again, has been spoken about, I've spoken about him. You have spoken about him. Wirtz, again, was the standout in that team. But also Boniface. Boniface has been spoken about loads about going to a top team in Europe. And again, not saying that Bayer Leverkusen are not a top team, but I mean, like, in terms of a city, Liverpool's even been spoken about. Again, in Ibu Konaté's pocket all game.
And even the build-up as well, the fullbacks of Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, it's basically a throwback for the last 3-4 years of Grimaldo and obviously Frimpong on the opposite wing as well, mate. I think Kostas had a phenomenal game down that left as well. I think, obviously, the goal in which he did score was the right decision, and it was good defending originally by Kostas. It was just that the fact that Frimpong cheated and knocked the ball in the opposite direction and got in front of Kostas. Other than him not handballing, I think Kostas would have dealt with that really well as well. But I think for being a team and the quality, as you alluded to there, Con and chat, you have to be on it from the absolute get-go as well. Just looking at the statistics for the second half as well, Liverpool 52% to Bayer Leverkusen's 48%. In terms of XG for Liverpool, we battered them in the second half statistics. Obviously a 3.48, obviously scoring 4 goals in that second half. But in terms of shots, 13 shots to Bayer Leverkusen's 7. Shots on target, Liverpool have 5 to Bayer Leverkusen's 2 as well. And it's just absolutely staggering, mate, in terms of accurate passes as well. Liverpool shaded at 87% to Bayer Leverkusen's 84%. So we only had 37 more. I only say only have, but we only had 37 passes in that second half more than Bayer Leverkusen's 208. We had 237. So You can have all the possession in the world, mate, but it's as we know, all of us have watched plenty of football games. It's what you do with that possession as well. But from a defensive point of view, I know we've scored 4, and I know everyone's buzzing, and rightfully so, we all are, about the lads up front. But from a defensive structural point of view, we
That's
were
huge.
we were big, mate. Like the fact that amount of times that EB, as you alluded to, it bounced off
Well, Trent.
Boniface. Yeah, Trent as well.
Everyone will speak again. We've had conversations in our own group about Trent and defending and so on. That from Trent again, both fullbacks. I think there is a strong argument now for Costas being the number 1 left back at the moment because again,
he's undroppable.
The performances as of late have been tremendous from him, and that is something again. Not to say that again, we've had obviously a very high moment in Andy Robertson over the last couple of seasons, but so far this season the drop-off's been quite clear. And it's been I feel like we have this conversation nearly every season now, where does Costas get into the team? Does Costas get his opportunity in the team? And at the minute, under Arne Slot, again, he's getting the opportunity. He's performing very, very well. And again, like you said, Trent Alexander-Arnold, for me, defensively this season, has been absolutely superb. I think, again, he gets very much slated. I think, again, it's poor punditry.
Poor analysis, really, after the sound.
Yeah, it's poor punditry from everyone. Trent Alexander-Arnold can defend. And so far this season, he's proven that. Again, he hasn't come up against the Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe. But again, tonight now, he's come up against a Florian Wirtz. He's come up against a Boniface, who did run at him. And again, he kept them quiet. Ibu Konate kept them quiet. Virgil van Dijk, again, superb. And the fact that Virgil can literally play an 8 out of 10 game and be absolutely brilliant.
It's mad. I think, I don't know if you catch the Amazon commentary and in terms of Reds as well out there. I think he quickly noted to Clarence Seedorf that and he's rightly so, that obviously we're not Dutch, we don't read the Dutch newspapers, but he said to Clarence Seedorf in the interview, he said Van Dijk's been getting slaughtered in the international stage from the Dutch natives in regards to him not stepping into the midfield and dictating the play and all that. But Arne Slot just said after this game, just go and watch this game tonight to all the Dutch fans and just say, this is what Virgil van Dijk does best as well. He could literally play centre, he could play centre mid, he could play DM, he could probably play anywhere on the pitch apart from goalie and do an absolutely stellar job. He'd be the best player on the pitch. But he's a Rolls Royce. And the one thing that keeps on doing me head in, and I don't want to dwell on too much, is obviously the constant questions from the reporters and everyone about these contracts. Because say if we are, say, 20 points away from a league title this season, or we already had the fanfare last season of the Jurgen Klopp early announcements, and that fully derailed Liverpool's pursuit of titles. And it did, because the fact since that announcement last year, we won the League Cup, which was great, but we did fizzle out at the back end of the season.
And it could have been. I personally think the Van Dijk contract, I think we'll hear about first. I think Liverpool are going to do. It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool did what they did when he signed for the football club. Just have Virgil in front of a Christmas tree, new deal, done. And then everyone's going to talk about, oh, okay, we're gonna get Salah, we're gonna get Trent done. And again, I still think they will both get done. But I'm the same as you. I don't want that being the conversation going into a season where we're going to be, Champions League or Premier League. Again, I want to focus on the football and get get the best out to the boys anyway. But of course, I want to speak quickly about Lucho. Anyway, of course, first Liverpool hat trick ever for him. Of course, it's the first Liverpool hat trick in the Champions League since Diogo Jota when we played Atalanta away from home back in the 2021 season. Anyway, again. Ago. Yeah, unbelievable. I think that the prior one to that, I think, was Sadio Mane back in Porto. I think it was in the 17-18 season as well. So
much better memory to make on.
Liverpool hat-tricks don't come that often in the Champions League, but when they do, they are very, very special. And like I said, for me, Luis Diaz, first half, could have ripped my hair out with, again, him not getting involved in the game. Second half, completely different. One hell of a performance, and rightfully deserved hat trick as well.
Yeah, no, mate. I was just thinking, obviously, they were speaking on Amazon after the game, mate. Obviously, there was a lot of rotation. He was playing through the middle. He was playing on the left. Obviously, Arnie said, obviously, his hat-trick goal come from the left-hand flank as well. But it just goes to the fluidity, though, Con. I think for every Liverpool fan out there, we know if we want to be in contention come at the end of May in these big competitions, all of them, we need to score lots of goals. And obviously, with Diaz, I think coming into this year, I know me and you done plenty of shows over the last couple of years when we've debated Luis Diaz. There's no debate in his quality. I think the main thing going into this season was the consistent levels from Lucho Diaz. I think his goals and assists were there at Porto. I think obviously, but I think the consistent level that we did see prior to obviously Lucho and the other lads coming into the football club is Sadio Mane. He will for. We never grew, especially people my generation as well, Con. We listened and we watched documentaries of John Barnes and we listened to the stories of what an amazing winger he was. Mane was our John Barnes, to say the least. Anyway, but John Barnes might be better slightly or whatever you want to put. That's a good debate for that. But Lucho Diaz, I think in terms of those two type of players, try and get to that level on a consistent level. It's difficult because those two lads, John Barnes and Mane, do great in themselves. But I think if Lucho can just continue this consistent, I think to be an elite level player, the biggest thing for any player, just under that elite bracket in terms of world class elite level, is just mainly consistent. Being consistent. Yeah, I think it's one thing a player getting 10 goals, 20 assists. But if you're getting that regular season after season after season after season, they're the levels that we hope and we wish to have, and they're the levels that we need at Liverpool to be successful in regards to obviously winning trophies, mate.
Well, we all said it last season, didn't we? And even throughout the summer when Anthony Gordon was getting linked, I think all of us said if Lucho can be more consistent in front of goal, he'll be a £200 million player because of how good he is, on and off the ball. It was just his end product has been missing. But you look at it so far this season, I think he's even matched his goal tally from last season already.
Yeah.
We're not even in the beginning of November yet. We just are in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's again, that comes down to Sloss, and how he's progressed in the players. Yeah, exactly. And if we can get the best of Lucho to maybe push us on and maybe himself get another 5-10 goals possible in all competitions, that will be huge for Liverpool going on to fighting for the Premier League, fighting for the Champions League, and who knows what will be at the end of the season. Anyway, but I will quickly get into a few comments anyway. Big up Mark as well, saying, do we need to move Jota and Alisson on now? Possibly, but I don't think so. That's another.
We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, mate. Anyway, and it's like.
What we got, but I can see how we can't get them over the line. I don't know what that's in regards of. Imagine the partying that Luis Diaz is currently doing as well, or we definitely know what he's going to be doing later. Anyway, there'll be a few TikToks probably a bit later on anyway. But before we do shoot off anyway, because I do have to shoot off in 2 minutes. Jack, man of the match for you for tonight.
Lucho Diaz, everyone and their nans will be picking Diaz. But I have to shout out, for me, my man of the match Diaz, but I think just so many players. We'll probably do another show tomorrow, won't we, Con? Really, where we will go a bit more in depth with that. But I think the midfield three, second half, Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch again, but mainly for me, Ibu, the lads at the back. I think from a structural point of view, in terms of biding our time, playing out from the back, all the way from the goalkeeper as well. Especially the way we were getting pressed tonight in certain elements. I think Arne Slot said that obviously in the second half we went more man to man, and that takes a lot of confidence, especially against Bayer Leverkusen as well. Nice one, Mark. But I'd have to say Ibu and the lads at the back. The way in which they just wasn't just their defensive positioning. It's in terms of just taking that ball into the final third of the pitch as well, breaking the Bayer Leverkusen line. A lot of diagonals. I think Clarence Seedorf mentioned it on the post match. He just said it was just a joy to watch the diagonal balls. He says not a sake of the diagonal switches from Virgil van Dijk and the lads to the back. There's balls with meaning, and there's balls with like snow on the top of them because they're coming down on the toes of the Liverpool's opposition players, and even Mohamed Salah again. I don't think we've touched much up, but we will do tomorrow as well. But
I was gonna mention him again. I think apart from Lucho, obviously for obvious reasons, man of the match goes to Luis Diaz. But I think if he doesn't get a hat trick, I think Mo Salah is definitely in with a shout. I think we've all said about how Mo Salah is being a massive impact for Liverpool's season so far. Tonight was another example. Again, I think he got 2 assists. I think it might even be 3 assists.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm going to double check now, but even still, if it's 2 assists or 3
he's
assists,
just an absolute
another animal.
Yeah, he's a catalyst of exactly him, Van Dijk. I'd say all of them, but mainly Ali and obviously I'd say Kelly this season, the way in which he's played. But yeah, certainly Mohamed Salah. And even if he is to go, not that we want him to go, if he is to go this season, that will not affect his game. I know we've analysed it over the last couple of years and say, we might impact. But no, I think Mohamed Salah is that much of a professional. He doesn't let that affect his game, really. He'll let the outside noise. And I think the best way to get any football club to give you a new contract is continue playing well, scoring goals, getting assists, and even for Virgil, get a couple more clean sheets, and even better, get a couple more goals as well. But certainly, trophies are what these players die for and we crave for. And us as Liverpool fans, we've been very blessed over the last 10 years to have the opportunity to be in these competitions. Well, certainly this year, if we continue the good wave of form. And quickly touching that, I know, going to quickly wrap up, is obviously people saying, there's mainly rival fans that have never been in Champions League, saying, you haven't beat anyone this season. That's extremely disrespectful to the teams that we've played this season, because there's no easy game in football, mate. You know that, Con. We all know that. Like, there's teams that we've beaten in the Premier League that have gone on beat the likes of City, beat Arsenal as well. Like, football is not as easy as putting 11 men on the pitch and just expecting and hoping your team wins games of football.
Yeah, Bournemouth caused problems with City. They beat Arsenal again. That's the thing, and in true fact as well, Liverpool are beating teams we should beat. How many times throughout the years have we said Liverpool shouldn't have dropped points here, shouldn't have dropped points there? At the minute, they're doing the basics right. And that wins you a lot of games of football. And even
especially
tonight,
when you got the caliber of players that we've got.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, the basics all done correctly right. And again, that wins you games of football. And if you can add upon that, it takes your game to another level, like what the second half was in tonight's game, where again, you're playing against a really good opposition side, one of the best teams in Europe. And now if we can take that into Villa on Saturday night, again, that will be another huge opportunity for Liverpool.
It's not been a 1-0 scrappy win. We just absolutely slapped them in the second half, 4-0, mate. Like, that was a big football humbler for Bayer Leverkusen. It was a reality check for, obviously, Bayer Leverkusen as well. I think they'll be disappointed, but I think going to their new season, going to the Champions League, I don't think it'll get any harder, to say the least, anyway. I think it'll only get a bit easier from their point of view.
Definitely not. Right, guys, we are going to leave it there. Apologies, there's been no videos on the channel, so it's a big up to all of you guys for tuning in as well. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. We're going to talk more in depth tomorrow, a bit earlier, of course. So make sure you are tuned in. Make sure you are subscribed to both myself and, of course, Jack on the Effort Road TV as well. Go over to click the link that Mark put in the comments as well. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you haven't, then Jesus Christ, I don't know what game of football you want to go and watch. Anyway, hopefully us battering Villa on the weekend anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cup Pencil. See you in a bit. Ta-ra.